Hey guys, welcome back to Coach Me. Today we're doing another NFL video. Today we'll be talking about the best player from every NFL team. I've looked at every team, all 32. As you can see, I don't know why I need to show you this. There are 33 slides. So, I'm going to show you what I think are the best player from every team. So yeah, let's get into this. Obviously, we're starting off with the Ravens. Their best player is Lamar Jackson. You could make an argument maybe that it's like Hollywood Brown or something, but I don't think there's really any question. I think it's probably Lamar Jackson, league MVP last year. He is might be the best player in the whole entire league right now. One of the reasons why I started with him. Moving on to the Bengals, we have A.J. Green. Considered putting either Joe Burrow or, T. Higgins on this list, but no, I had to sit there and say, A.J. Green, been on this team for a while. I know he's got injured sometimes, hasn't played very much, but he is still a solid. When he's healthy, when he's playing, A.J. Green is a very good wide receiver and is going to definitely be a huge part of their offense this year. And even last year, when he didn't play very much, he still managed to get 6 touchdowns. Moving on to the Steelers, we have Minkah Fitzpatrick. They made a good move whenever they got him from the Dolphins last year. He has been a huge part of the secondary. 5 interceptions, 9 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles. If you're a quarterback, you do not want to throw towards Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, last team in the AFC North, we have the Browns with Jarvis Landry. This was really only a battle between of course, they've got a lot of talent. It was really only a battle between Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. And I looked at the stats, and Jarvis Landry is very, very good. Even with how bad the Browns were last year, he managed to get 6 touchdowns, 14.1 average yards per catch, and over 1,000 yards. So he is doing pretty well. And so, yeah. Moving on to the AFC East with the Patriots, this is no question. We've got Stephon Gilmore here, our second cornerback here. He managed to get 6 interceptions last year and 20 passes deflected. I had him as the best cornerback in my best cornerback / safety in my best player from every position video. And for good reason. He is an amazing NFL player, and I can't see they're going to be leaning on him heavily this season, and it's not hard to see why. All right, on to the Bills. We have John Brown. This might be a surprise to a lot of people, but I think he is a great. A lot of people would probably expecting me to pick a defensive player, but I think honestly that their offense is still pretty good. Their defense is better than their offense, but their offense is still great. And John Brown is a huge part of that. Again, 6 touchdowns, 14.7 yards per catch, 72 catches, and over 1,000 yards. These are pretty good numbers. He's definitely gonna help out. I completely forget their name. Whatever. Moving on to the Dolphins, we've got Tua Tagovailoa, the rookie quarterback. He's better than Joe Burrow. Let's just face it. The only reason he wasn't picked first is because of the injury concern, which I think is. He got injured one time, and I get it. He's young, but still, I think he's the best player on this team. He's a rookie, and he's great. You saw him in college: 33 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He's up here for a reason, and up next with the Jets, we have another rookie, Denzel Mims. They got him in the draft. He is a wide receiver. He also looked great. He had 12 touchdowns, 15 yards per carry, catch shy, over 1,000 yards. He looked great. And now, moving on to the AFC West, we've got the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Pretty simple. You could have said someone else, but right now I just think that he is carrying this whole team. Of course, they've got lots of good players. I don't know what I meant. Anyways, let's move on to the Broncos. With the Broncos, we've got Phillip Lindsay. They're going to be needing to use him a lot with Drew Lock just now starting to get into things. You saw him whenever they played their when Drew Lock was in for 5 games last season, they relied heavily upon their run game, and he is one of the big reasons why they somehow went 4-1 in those games and kind of carried the whole team. And then I feel kind of bad for him because everyone gave the credit to Drew Lock when it was in no way Drew Lock's. It was no way Drew Lock that did that. And then moving on to the Raiders, we have Josh Jacobs, another running back who was a rookie last year. 7 touchdowns and 1,100 yards. They're also kind of lean on him. I mean, if Derek Carr doesn't step things up, they've at least got him that they can lean on. He's a big reason why they took a step up from 2 years ago and this year. And the last team in the AFC West are the Chargers, and we've got Keenan Allen, who's just a great wide receiver, 1 yard away from 1,200 yards last year. I mean, he's going to be a huge help to Justin Herbert and Tyrod Taylor in this season. Might be one of the biggest, definitely will be a big part of this offense. All right, moving on to the AFC South, we have the Texans with Deshaun Watson, another quarterback. Again, he's not the best quarterback, but honestly, he's really going to have to carry this offense with the disappearance of DeAndre Hopkins over to Arizona. Why did I say disappearance? I don't know. But yeah, he is a great quarterback. You've seen you cannot sack this man. You can try to. You can double team him. He'll still get out of there. All right. Now, moving on to the Jaguars, we've got Joe Schobert. And I know he's in Browns uniform, but he is now a Jaguar. He is on defense. He's a linebacker. He got 4 interceptions last year. Sorry for the voice crack. As a linebacker, which is very, very good. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. This man is just elite on all sides. So, now the last team. Well, no, never mind. Next up, we've got the Titans. Of course, it's Derrick Henry, the best running back in the league right now. Catching and rushing, he is a beast, and he's huge. 303 attempts, 16 touchdowns. With the addition of Ryan Tannehill now in there boosting up their passing game and Derrick Henry, he's a big reason on why the Titans will be a very tough team to play this year. The last team in the AFC now are the Colts, and we have another rookie with Michael Pittman, another wide receiver rookie. This will be a huge target for Phillip Rivers this year. Definitely not going to hurt at least. 101 catches last year. 11 touchdowns. He looked good, and now there's a reason that they picked him up out of college. Moving on to the NFC South, we've got Christian McCaffrey. Was there really any question about this? Once Greg Olsen, Luke Kuechly, and Cam Newton left this team, it's really just Christian McCaffrey here. 287 attempts, 15 touchdowns. He's probably going to get even more. This team is going to basically be Christian McCaffrey Express right now. I know Teddy Bridgewater is a very talented man, but I don't know if they'll definitely still be leaning upon Christian McCaffrey. Moving on to the Saints, we've got Michael Thomas. This guy is a beast. He is amazing. This is a team that really, it was hard to pick because I didn't know whether to pick Drew Brees or Alvin Kamara or Michael Thomas, and I looked, and Michael Thomas is just insane. 9 touchdowns, 1,700 yards, almost 12 yards per catch. The man is a beast. There's a reason he can't guard Mike. I don't know, but he is insane. All right, moving on to the Buccaneers. We got Chris Godwin on here, another wide receiver. He's going to be a huge target for Tom Brady. I also considered putting maybe Tom Brady himself, maybe Rob Gronkowski, which really I kind of shut that down real quick. Maybe Mike Evans, but I looked, and I mean Chris Godwin is very, very talented. Almost 16 yards per catch, 9 touchdowns. It's insane what he's been doing with Jameis Winston as a quarterback. I'm pretty excited to see what he will turn into when he gets Tom Brady on this as his quarterback. Moving on to the Falcons, we've got another wide receiver, Julio Jones. He is in the conversation. A lot of people seem to think he may be the best wide receiver in the league, and I definitely see where they're coming from. 6 touchdowns and only 99 catches, 14 yards per catch. He is an amazing wide receiver, and Matt Ryan knows if he throws it to Julio Jones, he's probably going to catch it. Moving on to the NFC North, we have the Vikings with Dalvin Cook. This is another running back that can just tear through your defense. And they won't necessarily be leaning on him that much this season, but he's definitely going to really help. He's going to take a lot of the pressure off. He takes a lot of the pressure off of Kirk Cousins. All right, now moving on to the Packers. This is another hard one, but I put Aaron Rodgers on here. He's getting older. He's not as good as he was a few years back, but he is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. One of the reasons why the Packers almost made the Super Bowl last year. And one of the reasons why I think that they'll come close to making the Super Bowl again this year. Moving on to the Lions, we have Kenny Golladay, wide receiver. Almost 18 yards per catch, 11 touchdowns. And with all this with Matthew Stafford on their team, eventually they're going to move on from Matthew Stafford unless he takes a couple steps up. But as of right now, he's definitely, with Matthew Stafford, he's getting these numbers. If he gets if he had Lamar Jackson as his quarterback, he would be definitely in the conversation for best wide receiver. But right now, he doesn't. So we're moving on to the Bears with Khalil Mack. When they got him from the Raiders, it was a great deal. They're going to be completely leaning upon their defense while they try to figure out this quarterback situation right now. And Khalil Mack is not going to disappoint. 5 forced fumbles and 8.5 sacks. He is a beast, and you can not run. If you're a running back and you see Khalil Mack in front of you, just drop dead right now. All right. We're almost done here. Just 2 more divisions to go. Moving on to the NFC East, we have the Washington football team with Terry McLaurin. This is another team. It was really between Terry McLaurin and Chase Young here. And I just decided we've already seen how Terry McLaurin can play in the NFL, so I just went ahead and gave it to him. He's very good, barely under 1,000 yards last year. 7 touchdowns, all this with Case Keenum. And you saw how Dwayne Haskins was early in his career. Of course, he got much better towards the end. So he's very impressive. It'll be interesting to see what he does this year with a revamped Dwayne Haskins and no Case Keenum. All right, now moving on to the Cowboys, we have another wide receiver with Amari Cooper here. 8 touchdowns last year. This is going to he's making Dak Prescott look good right now. He's not. Dak Prescott, my 3-year-old brother can throw better than him, but Amari Cooper is insane. 1,100 yards, 79 receptions, and all this with Dak Prescott as your quarterback. He has great things coming for him. Amari Cooper is amazing. All right, now moving on to the Giants, we've got Saquon Barkley. He didn't look the best last year. He was still great. Of course, I have him on this list. But we see he is an amazing running back. You see him freaking diving over somebody here. I thought that was a cool picture. 6 touchdowns, just over 1,000 yards, 217 attempts. As Daniel Jones gets into this and starts to develop into a quarterback, he is probably going to be very grateful for having Saquon Barkley to help him out on the offensive side. And then the final team in the NFC East, we've got the Eagles, who, of course, it's Zach Ertz for the Eagles. 6 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure he might be the first tight end we've seen. Let me see. Yeah, he's the first tight end we've seen on this list, which is pretty cool. 916 yards is very good for a tight end. He's doing all this with Carson Wentz as a quarterback. It's pretty amazing. All right, now moving on to the last division we have to do is the NFC West. If you're still watching this video, you probably are a fan of one of these teams. But thank you anyways for watching all the way to even this point. We've got the Seahawks, as you saw. It's Bobby Wagner, who is an amazing player on this defense and has been for a while now. 1 interception, 1 forced fumbles, 3 sacks. He is insane. And he's one of the huge reasons why the Seahawks are still expected to make the playoffs and go far into them. Moving on to the 49ers, we got Fred Warner. This is a huge surprise. I'm sure a lot of people expected to see, George Kittle on here, or maybe even Jimmy Garoppolo or Raheem Mostert now that he's got a new deal. But no, I mean, Fred Warner, if you don't know, he's a defensive linebacker, and he's amazing. 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, an interception, 89 tackles. That's better than Bobby Wagner, and no one's talking about him. I mean, of course, on the conversation with who I also considered putting Nick Bosa. He's better than Nick Bosa. So, I mean, he's very underrated. I haven't heard anyone talking about him, but Fred Warner is the best player on the 49ers, in my opinion. Moving on to the Rams, we've got Cooper Kupp, wide receiver, 10 touchdowns, 12.4 average. Considered putting, Darrell Henderson, maybe, what's his name? Aaron Donald on here. But no, I looked, and Cooper Kupp is just an amazing wide receiver. Like I said many times, I feel like this team is going to take a step up, and if Cooper Kupp takes a couple more steps up, they might be an amazing team this year. All right, and the final team we've got is the Cardinals, and of course it's DeAndre Hopkins. That trade giving away David Johnson, just go over there. It's definitely going to pay off. One of the best wide receivers in the league, and they got him for practically nothing. 7 touchdowns, 104 catches, over 1,100 yards. As Kyler Murray, again, gets into this and gets better, he's going to be throwing to DeAndre Hopkins a lot more. I don't know. I just feel like he's an amazing wide receiver. So that's it. That's the video. All right. Let me know if you thought that, I did your team dirty, and if you're a fan of a team and I put a different player than you think, let me know, and let me know why. We can have a discussion about it in the comments. You can tweet at me, send something to me on, I don't know, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, support my Patreon. I'm trying to start a podcast so I can talk football, just not like in these video segments, but more just like random. Also, I'm completely out of football ideas. Can someone please give me some sort of football idea? I mean, really, this is it. I'm going to post this video tomorrow, and then after that, I'm going to be struggling to come up with these videos I do every other day. Of course, I'm going to keep on uploading my daily content. Please give me some sort of idea. But again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. You don't have